America's upside down and backwards in the light, naturally, by nature. This is the nature of the universe, time and light. Light and time has two different poles, two different polarities, up, down, right, left, boy, girl, etc., etc. It always moves in twos. That is the same every time. No matter what you see here is different. This doesn't really exist. This is time, light, and physics, which is all horse shit and garbage for fucking morons. And I'm fucking tired of psychology, and I'm tired of these mentally ill people. Alright? And I'll destroy every one of them in a debate. Every fucking one of them. I don't care. If you see this, come get me. Come holler at me. Alright? Because you'd be done like it was nothing. So, anyone that knows me knows what that is. When I say it was nothing, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's talking about the illusion of physics. Because it's an infinite shape-shifting black hole. The same as a nothing, a zero. I won't get into that now, but I have information about that out there. But anything I wanted to say is, like, America is mentally ill. They need to cut it the fuck out. These people that are criminals that won't come out of their belief systems, like these doctors in psychology and stuff, that fail the people all the time. They do absolutely nothing but hurt people and hook them on drugs or offer them drugs. You could get that anywhere. That's like the lowest of the low things to do, is offer somebody drugs, because you're totally fucking useless. You're a failure to them. Anything I've seen in psychology is, my mom's been in psychology, psychiatry, all that crap. That stuff has just made her worse over the years. Absolutely worse. And they treat everyone like guinea pigs out here. They need to cut it the fuck off. Alright? Because you're burning hell for that shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. It just doesn't fly. You sit here intentionally poison and intentionally hurt people. So all that shit needs to go. And America's got a huge mental illness problem. All these social constructs and things, they're not real. These are our ideas of things. The idea of things isn't what actually is there. If I pick up a rock, my idea of the rock is not the rock. Now, people run around like they themselves are ideas. It's like, it's completely asinine. And this all happens from relativism. I can't fucking stand relativism. But that's my relative subjective opinion, so I just gotta swallow that up and deal with it. But it's kind of funny, I get like a laugh and a chuckle out of it. So, but yeah, relativity is bullshit, and that leads to mental illness and all this biased, noisy, crazy, chaotic behavior. That shit needs to stop. The professionals aren't professionals, they're just experimenting on you. Okay, you're just a guinea pig, a slave. Alright, they get mad if you don't want to sit there and be a slave, and you want to question all that, they get really upset. I don't care. That's just wrong to do to people. And the academic has been the academic since the days of Socrates, so I don't even want to argue there how they're not insane. But all that is wrong. It's backwards. It's backwards and upside down. And nothing is the highest, greatest thing there is nothing. Even though we see in the light, our comprehension is like, oh, nothing is nothing, it's low. It's inexhaustible, it's infinite, it's unmeasurable. You can't fuck with the nothing. Alright, it's everywhere. You can get it for free anytime, all the time, always. Like a fucking free energy machine. So nothing is always there. If you can align yourself with nothing and just be as you are, without all these social constructs, then you really have a much better time going with the flow. Stop playing into all these social constructs, especially the left, because they're out there getting mentally ill from all this shit, man, and they're getting run around like punks. The alt-right sitting there like playing all this whiteness shit. You're never gonna beat that way. Alright, there isn't a white. There isn't a social construct. Just go to the root and burn the whole fucking thing down. In a sense that, guy he's talking all this shit. He thinks his whiteness is his superiority. He's fucking delusional. Delusional is not superior. He's mentally ill. He needs some kind of not intense help. He just needs some advice. So that's what I do. I give advice to people. And, you know, so I'm giving advice here on you got to get away from all that. Because if you don't get away from all that, somebody's always going to wrap you up by that. Someone's always going to be able to take advantage of you psychologically with all that. The alt-right will sit out there like they got this whiteness and this stuff and this superiority, and people will play into that bullshit. It's not real. Call it for what it is. Don't sit there and play the fucking stupid game. Albert Einstein said, you can't solve the problem with the same level of consciousness that creates it. And you really can't. So, that's how that goes. Vance, leave it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey buddy. So, you can't solve that problem with the same level of consciousness that creates the problem. So you have to go further down and uproot it for what it is. Vance, leave it. Oh boy. And you have to get out of that way of thinking, or that's just going to keep reoccurring. You're going to keep playing into that. And I wouldn't play into that, because the alt-right could be using that to their advantage. Like, they're just messing with people's heads out there and making them delusional, and then going and laughing about it. I don't know if you just saw my desk. It probably looks like Albert Einstein's desk. So does my hair look like his hair, but I mean, that doesn't mean we're useless. People really don't know. They judge by appearance, and then they get told, off the inverse, don't judge people by appearance, which is racism. That builds a racist mindset to sit and judge things by appearance. So America actually makes people sick, gives them ignorance, leave it, and then it charges them, to clean up their ignorance. It's really sad. It's sick. They're just like harvesting these people like they're slaves for profit. It's really disgusting. And the doctors are just mind-controlled stormtroopers. It's kind of, I never really watched much Star Wars or was into that kind of shit when I was a kid. I thought that was all airy-fairy fucking nerd shit. So I never really watched that stuff. But it reminds me of the Empire and the Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers are just these doctors. They're all just mind-controlled. And they unfurl their mind control. And all their mind control does is make slaves, is make people sick. It doesn't cure them out of a job. That would be stupid. So we could, start there off the inverse of how much are these people really helping. Well, they aren't going to cure themselves out of a job, that's for sure. So if you want to see how much they're really going to help, then you can start, somewhere around there, and start throwing sonar at the problem, and you probably figure it out. Like, these people are getting paid if you're sick, and they won't admit it, and some of them can't face that, and some of them get caught up. Like, you take all this time in school, you get out, and some fucking loser ninth grade dropout like me says everything you learned is a lie. You're a sick poisoner of the well. You're gonna be like, fuck you, dude. Cause I just crushed his fucking belief system. I just rolled that motherfucker up in his reality and was like, psh. And it's like death by astonishment. But I don't fucking care. I don't have all day to do this. I don't have all time to debate. And people are getting hurt. It's time to stop this fucking bullshit and go about a better way. And I got some ideas for that too. And I'll keep posting videos and whatever. They can keep banning my Twitter for saying words like stupid idiot, however harsh that is. And they can do whatever they want. They can try and take all that from me. I don't care. Because I get nothing and I like it. So that's like the biggest stick up their ass too. That's like the biggest stick up somebody's ass. When you can get nothing and like it. And you don't even have to provoke them. Like, you don't even have to go, You just fucking walk. And when they see you walking like that all the time, they're like, man, I want to do that, but they can't do that. They can't. And if they want to, then you show them the ropes, then they really don't want to do it. That's what makes the suffering like a gift. I look back in my life and I'm like, man, nobody would go through that on purpose, intentionally. That's just asinine. Like, you couldn't read this. People read the dogma stuff. You couldn't really read your stuff into a state of death. That's like idiot. That's like trying to use ideas to persuade yourself into death, which is just like being suicidal, So the dogma and the process is a whole hope for people that are in poverty, are down low inside. Um, that's kind of where it all begins in death. In the nothing is aligning yourself with this nothing, and not eating a bunch of apples and getting a social construct psychosis, and calling it an identity politics, or saying the alcohol did it or Donald Trump did it, because that's upside down and backwards. Go take a look in the mirror. It's the man in the motherfucking mirror, the root, okay, is who does all that in your world, your multiverse. It's not the guy across the street that does it to you. It's what can we do? And maybe he did do something, but what can we do better next time so that's not going to happen? Otherwise, we just sit there and get taken advantage of, and raped and harvested and everything else. And we just go around like this is normal. We just babble out rhetoric like this is normal. I don't know about you, but I fucking got tired of that. Like, I'm not even trying to play that fucking bullshit anymore, and I haven't for a while. And if you're tired of playing it too, then I got some ideas, and I'm sure we all come up with a whole bunch of ideas, because once you really break out of the mindset, leave it. Oh boy. Because once you break out of the mindset, then your mind can expand and open up. So your mind expands and opens up, then you can think more clearly. And once you can think more clearly, you get outside of that whole the like fear mindset, where it's just constant chaos bombarding your mind, which is like forms and ideas just constantly bombing your mind, from outside stimulus. Run around, get the kids, soccer, blah blah blah, this, that. You're worried about all that. That's extra thoughts. That's an extra thought of worry for every actual responsibility you have. You can literally kill yourself just by burying yourself with like time and times, which is form. So yeah, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna have my coffee and do my thing, and that's it. They said I'll never be anything. They said you'll be nothing, and lo and behold, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, but they were right. I am nothing.